programs with functions, and with respect to functions we have seen parameters and parameterized function and non-parameterized function. Yes,
Yes, sir.
right. So what yesterday when I gave a homework, this is what I had expected. So for example, uh, def calculator. Okay, right here I'm going to take a is equal to input of, let us say, val for a, right? And b is equal to input of enter val for b. When you're writing program, you have to be like, you write a program in such a way that there should not be errors. There should not be errors. Now what I'm checking is if a dot is digit. If not, I'll write if not, not a dot is digit, or b dot is, one moment, or not b dot, if they are not digits, then print give valid numbers as input. Okay, so that way, if user enters anything apart from the digits, it is going to throw an, it is going to stop your program. Okay, else after that, so if they are proper, if they are digits, then we will take operation. So I want to write, you guys have to write the variables also in such a way that variable should mean what you are storing in it. So it is operation. So here input of enter operation. So now if operation can be, right, add, multiplication, subtraction, and division. These are the things we support, right? So if operation is equal to, if operation is equal to add, right? So what we want to do, so call a function which basically call a add function. You should have defined add function, and you are going to call add function by passing a and b. Else or elif operation is equal to multiplication, right? Then you have to go call multiplication function by passing a comma b, and elif operation is equal to division, right? You are going to call division function. So you have defined functions for each of it. Okay, a comma b is equal to int of a comma int of b. I'm writing, I'm converting it to the integers here, right? And if elif operation is equal to, so division, multiplication, subtraction, right? You call subtract function. And if it is none of it, right, else you say print if of operation not supported. Clear? So what I expected is you guys to write a multi different functions. You have just did it with if else, right? Which is correct. But when I mentioned here, I don't know what happened to this. Okay. So here when I mentioned, I think I clearly mentioned, I don't know why is this. It was loading. Okay, cool. So I said add, create a calculator for this, and I mentioned this has to be functions. This takes two parameters, right? I did mention about it. Okay. Right, this is how the function should have been written, and eventually you call calculator function. Understood? Calculator. So here this is a simple function which is taking two inputs. A is equal to input of, I'll tell you first why we have to take int. I'm going to do one thing. Int of input of, enter value a for a, enter value for b. I'm going to take this variable as b, right? And I'm going to define functions like def add, which basically takes a comma b as the parameters, and print a plus b. Say plus, I'm going to use str of a plus b. Okay. All right. And I'm going to repeat this for like, 3 cases. Add, subtraction, multiplication, division. So I have defined my functions here, right? So I'm going to take another one. Operation is equal to input of operation. If operation, I'm going to convert it to a lowercase. Okay, we'll do that. Operation is equal to add, call add function by passing a comma b. If operation is equal to subtraction, I'm going to call subtraction a comma b. Lf operation is equal to division. I'm going to call division of a comma b, and lf operation is equal to addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. If it doesn't match with any of this, then print invalid operation. Right, so this is pretty much it. Now let us try to execute this. Obviously, okay, I have to call the calculator function. In the end, I'm going to call the calculator function. Now let me execute this again. Right, enter value for 8, 10, 20, and operation. Right, I'm going to say add. Right, Hold on a second. So here the integer is not add a comma b. So when I called a comma b with the add, okay, so here it is very simple. All I had to do was add some space. Okay, I'm going to execute this again. Then, so I'm going to execute 10, 20. Operation is going to be multiplication, and here 10 into 20 is 200. We are getting this output. Guys,
Yes, sir.
okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
what are the problems with this code? I'll tell you. I'm going to enter it here. Done. So if I don't enter any value, you have an error, right? If I just type an alphabet, you have an error. So it should not throw an error. Rather, we should handle it. So this is one problem. Okay. Another problem. So let us say I give my data properly. So for example, 10, and I also give my data properly 20. And when I give my operation, I'm going to give it as add. Add, but it still says invalid operation. Add is supposed to be a supported version, right? Supported operation. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to convert it to a lowercase, because what am I doing? I'm comparing with all the lowercase, right? So
Yes,
I
sir.
have to take my operation
Yes,
in the
sir.
same case only. So if I
So,
just take the user input, it is going to fail. So for that case, I'm going to convert whatever as the user given. I'm going to convert and use it here. Okay. Now if I just give all in uppercase, doesn't matter. It is just going to work. Yes. So one problem we have solved using the lower function. Now how am I going to solve this int function, right? So I'm not going to convert this to the integer right away. What I'm going to do is I'll check first, right? If not a dot is digit, or not b dot is digit. If any one of it is not a digit, I'm going to say print, right? I'm going to say enter valid number, enter valid number. In the else case will be this. If it is not a valid number, it will just print that and exit. If it is a valid number, then only it will come to the else case. Now let us try this. Okay, space, right? For A, I have not given a valid number. For B, I'm giving a valid number, right? What does it say? Enter a valid number. Now for A, I'm giving a valid number. For B, I'm not giving a valid number. Yes, it says enter a valid number. Now for both, I'm not going to give a valid number. Enter a valid number. So this piece will be executed only if both are valid numbers. Okay, so here we have a problem. Why? Because I did not convert it to an integer. So now I have to convert it to an integer. Yes, here only I did not convert anywhere. I'm just checking whether it is a digit or not. So after this, I have to convert a comma b is equal to int of a comma int of b. Let us go execute it. Now I'm going to give 10, 10, right? It works now. Right now, all the cases are handled here. So this is how you have to write a program. So you have to consider, okay, not just the positive case. You enter 10, you enter 20, it is giving the value. No, right? You have to check whether the given data is proper or not. Only if the given data is as expected, then you convert it to integer. Otherwise, you handle it ahead only and give the proper error, enter a valid number. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yes, sir.
apart from what you have done, the additional thing that we have written here is now everything is a function: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And calculator is also function which we are calling explicitly when I execute this file. Once it starts executing calculator function, we are taking couple of inputs. We are checking the data, whether the data is good enough. If not good enough, you are saying enter a valid number. If it is good enough, then you are going further, converting it to a specific integer types. That way our calculator functions can use them properly. And then based on checking whether it on the operation, you are calling that respective functions, which are then being called from here and then they are being executed.